Hello, welcome to another fun-filled episode of What's On. My name is Kurt Sullivan and tonight we have a show full of exciting and interesting events you could be getting involved with over the weekend and into next week as well. The sun is out and hopefully here to stay, so it's a great time to get out and about or perhaps get locked in if today's show is anything to go by. You'll see exactly what I mean very shortly indeed. Joining me in the studio a little later will be Dan Marshall from the Multi-Story Festival, currently taking place across Sheffield's libraries. Now, the Multi-Story event is in its second year and there are a host of book-related events going on, many of them free. Author sessions, live performances, book quizzes and storytelling, just some of the many things to get involved with. Dan will be here to tell us all about it. From a mystery book to a mystery room. Later on in the show, we'll also be going on a little trip to one of the #1 attractions right here in Sheffield. The Great Escape game dares you to see if you can escape one of their ever-increasing number of puzzle and mystery rooms by solving clues and thinking outside of the box. So if being locked in a room for an hour sounds like your thing, stay with us and you can find out all about it. That's all to come a little later. First, let's take a look at some music. This week, we'll start with a trip to the Greystones. If you head on over there tomorrow night, you can catch Curved Air. Now, Curved Air are described as vibrant, edgy, and in some respects, groundbreaking. They're fronted by the original prog rock diva, the exotic Sonia Christina. This one is from 8 in the evening. If you're still looking for something to do tomorrow night and the sounds of Curved Air don't quite do it for you, then how about you take a trip to Audacious Space? You can see Fritz Welsh and Olivia de Cassidy, drummer, percussionist and vocalist. Welsh and French guitarist Di Placido will be performing their collaborative effect of Transhuman. This one is £5 and kicks off at 8 as well, so it's one or the other. Sheffield University Concerts are putting on a showcase of work of two of the giants of Nordic music, Carl Nielsen and Jean Sibelius. This one's at the Firth Hall next Tuesday. Recognised for their fresh and imaginative approach, the Saucony Quartet have 20 world premieres to date and reach out to audiences with infectious energy and enthusiasm. And you can head on down to see them from £10 from 7:30, and again, that's next Tuesday. So I hope there's something there that reaches out to you. Time now for our community section. Now, we've got a few things this week which will really get you involved in the community. First up, you can head on over to Healy City Farm for their spring fair. It's their first fundraising event of the year on Saturday, and you can get over there for a host of stalls, some crafts, food, gifts and face painting. There'll also be some brass band music. I'm sure there'll be lots more going on, so it's free admission for that one, so head on down and support our city farm. That one kicks off from noon. A different type of fair now, a wedding fair, and not just any wedding fair, specifically a vintage wedding fair. You're all in three categories right now, I can imagine. Those who aren't even thinking about tying the knot just yet, those looking forward to their big day, or perhaps those of you who want to get married but still waiting for your partner in crime to make that big proposal. Whichever you are, get down to Cutlers Hall and find the inspiration for that special day. This one is on Sunday from 11 in the morning. Let's not forget weddings now for a second and turn our attention to St Thomas Church. The Crooks Forum History Project are putting on a Memories of Crooks Shops Show and Tell Day. This one is next Wednesday from 10:30. Local historian Anne Marples will be given a talk, and you're all encouraged to go along with stories, objects and anything to show and talk about the history of the Crooks area. Plenty there to get involved with. Okay, now it's time to head to the Great Escape game. Unique to Sheffield, this top attraction pits you to escape a variety of locked rooms by solving mysteries, puzzles and a little bit of teamwork as well. Sheffield Live went along to see if they could escape the game. Now you'll find these all over the world. But now there's one right here in Sheffield. It's called The Great Escape, and that's the name of the game. You're in a locked room, and you've got to try and get out. So let's go and see if we can do just that, and in the end, maybe we'll go across the road to the pub for a well-deserved pint. So we're here with Hannah, the manager, and I suppose you could say creator of everything that we're looking at today. So first of all, Hannah, just tell us a little bit about The Great Escape and what's it all about.
Okay, The Great Escape is a bit of a crystal maze activity, and basically you have 45 minutes to escape the locked room. So you and your team have to work together, you have to search high and low for the puzzles and clues in order to get out.
And how did you come up with sort of the puzzles and the rooms and the ideas that you've got here?
So lots of discussion with the customers who already come, take on their feedback, what kind of ideas do they have, what do they want to do, and then we basically order loads of props, choose a theme, and just work from there, really.
So I can imagine you sitting at home one day thinking, let's lock people in a room and try and solve a murder mystery. Is that what happened?
So basically, I was travelling last year, and we went to some in Asia. And they were fantastic, and we kind of just thought Sheffield needs one of these, to be honest.
So you've got a couple of rooms going on at the moment. Tell us about those.
Yeah. So we have got our mad scientist room. So there you have to escape the lab, and we've also got a homicide room. So that's a bit more sinister. And yeah, once again you have to escape. We have got a prison-styled room in the making, as well as an optical illusion room. So it's really exciting.
So I obviously don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
What's the success rate?
We're finding at the moment roughly 40%, so probably just under half of people are seeming to escape. We do have our leaderboard just over there.
A leaderboard, is it done by time then as well?
Yeah,
So the fastest at the top.
Yeah.
Do you get a prize or a medal or?
You get a certificate. Yeah.
Even better. So have you got a space to expand into sort of more rooms? Have you got ideas in the pipeline?
Yeah. So we've got them 2 in the making. Probably eventually we're hoping to go internationally, so maybe to Australia, and yeah, thinking big.
It's the first one in Sheffield.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a few others over the countries.
Yeah.
But have you you said you went travelling and saw them for yourself. Is that sort of what you're trying to recreate, or are you trying to do something a little different?
Oh no. We make all the rooms ourselves, so we want a different slant on them, really.
And what's the feedback been from everyone, from sort of customers that have been into the room?
Well, we've made it to #1 on TripAdvisor, so it's great. Yeah, good feedback. Everyone's loving it.
#1 attraction in Sheffield.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So where do you see
Things to do.
where do you see The Great Escape in, let's say, 5-10 years?
Worldwide. Think big.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. And if do you need to book far in advance? Because I can imagine these things being very popular. I knew I was coming here today, and I thought definitely booking this as soon. So I don't want to sort of see too much. But is it a couple of weeks in advance, or can you sort of turn up on the day?
I probably recommend that people book before. Weekends are especially full, and then throughout the day we get quite a lot of bookings. So yeah, basically you've got to be fast.
And can you do it on your own?
No, the minimum is 2 people, and that's quite a challenge, and the maximum is 6.
I imagine there's lots of arguing and debate when there's 6 people.
We've had a few. Yeah, we have had a few, definitely.
What would you say to anyone thinking about coming along, and what sort of room would you recommend? What's your favourite room?
I'd probably recommend the Mad Scientist. That's my favourite room, probably because it was the first one that we made. So yeah, it's fun. It's nice.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there we go, The Great Escape. If you think you're clever enough, intelligent enough, and brainy enough to come and try and escape one of the crazy rooms there is at this place, then come on down and try it for yourself. I'm stuck in here. I'm going to spend the next couple of hours trying to get out. I got out. Brilliant me. It took me longer than it should have, but I did it just like Steve McQueen in the actual Great Escape. I think our achievements are equal. So that was the Great Escape game, and if that looks like something you want to have a go at, head on over to their website, thegreatescapegame.co.uk. It really does look like a lot of fun, and the number of rooms and games are ever increasing at that place. Right then, now it's time for arts and culture. The showroom first. On Saturday is the Comic, Film and Card Fair. There will be all sorts going on. Original artwork, American and British comics on show, film and much, much more. That all gets underway from midday, and fans of the fantasy comic world should get down to this one and see what's going on. Next up, if you've seen Colin Firth stammer his way through the brilliant Oscar-winning film The King's Speech and you enjoyed it, then the Lyceum Theatre is the place for you. In a week-long run, Jason Donovan and Raymond Couthard take to the stage in the theatrical version of the historic story. The run starts on Monday. Ticket prices vary, but are upwards of about £26. Lastly, the Central Library hosts Sheffield at the Pictures. This is on Thursday, the 16th, between 1 and 2. Mike Higginbottom talks about the surviving buildings and Sheffield's cinematic heritage. Sounds interesting. Head on down to that one to delve into Sheffield's past. Lastly, on the listings this evening, it's the sport. Now, firstly, I of course have to mention the Bupa Yorkshire Half Marathon taking place this Sunday right here in Sheffield. Thousands of well-prepared and some not so prepared runners like myself will take to the streets of Sheffield to complete the 13.1-mile race, taking in some of Sheffield's best sights. And I encourage everyone to get out and line the route to cheer everyone on. It's a fantastic advert for the city. Badminton now. Division 2 of the Men's Feathers League are playing tomorrow. It's Wingfield at home against Staveley. And finally, Sheffield FC are at home against Romulus in the Evo Stick League, First Division South. They went down 2-0 in their last game, so we'll be looking to bounce back very, very quickly. I'm now joined in the studio with Dan Marshall, who's here to tell us all about the multi-story event taking place across Sheffield's libraries. He's here to tell us all about it and how you can get involved. Thank you very much for joining us, Dan. So you're here to tell us about the multi-story event which is taking across all of Sheffield's libraries over the coming weeks. Tell us all about it.
Well, multi-story is a celebration, really. It's a month-long package of events aimed at highlighting the really wide range of events and activity going on across the city at the moment. There's something for everyone, all ages, all tastes, and we're working with some brilliant partners from the university, from Healy City Farm, and from a couple of really helpful publishers. So it's an exciting time for us.
So what sort of events have you got coming up?
It's a real mix. We've got a couple of big name authors, a whole series of local history talks, got some art workshops for families, some poetry, some wildlife photography, all sorts really.
We've got your programme here, the Multi-Story Sheffield Library, and it's full of events that are coming up, and it goes all the way through till early May. And you do mention the authors, Dorothy Coomson for one,
That's right.
Worldwide best-selling author. What would you say is your sort of favourite event that you've got coming up for yourself?
It's a tricky one. We started off last night with a book quiz, which was great fun, but looking ahead, I'm very excited about our evening with Gavin Extance, a local author. His first book, The Universe versus Alex Woods, was brilliant, one of my favourites, so very excited about hearing him speak about the next book. Dorothy Coomson promises to be a big hit. She's a great speaker and, as you said, a global bestseller. And I think the wildlife photography event at Ecclesall Library should just be really pretty. So, I'm looking forward to those.
There's a lot of events that are looking at sort of the history of Sheffield as well.
That's right.
Which I think would be especially great for sort of the younger generation that maybe don't know too much.
Yeah, it's a real mix. So we're looking at Sheffield's lost cinemas. I think I'm told there were something like 52 cinemas within the city boundary at the end of the Second World War. So what happened to those?
And now there's about 3.
Yeah. But we're looking at the changing face of Sheffield through maps as well. So looking at maps pre-industrial revolution and how Sheffield has changed and the city has expanded and so on. That should, again, be really pretty but really interesting. Sheffield in the First World War and a few others. So all good stuff.
How are we making this sort of, is it accessible to everyone? I know a lot of the events are free,
That's
which
right.
is a great start.
Yeah, well, in libraries we're committed to being as accessible as possible, really. This is very much a festival for the people of Sheffield. It's not a huge, expensive literature festival like you might find elsewhere in the country. This is something local, something really locally relevant and locally focused. So we wanted things to be free or low cost.
And in terms of, this is the second year that you've been running this event.
That's right.
Do you already have plans for the third, fourth, fifth year?
Well, yeah. The first year was a great success, and as soon as we'd finished that, we thought we have to keep doing this, really. So I think, assuming people come along, I'm sure they will, then I'll be going back to the bosses and saying, can we do it again? And I think we probably will.
Now, I can't say I'm the most avid reader.
Sure.
And there's many few books that I've read from sort of front to back. What would you say is the appeal of books, and what would you say is the reason that people read?
Oh, goodness me.
Is that a tough question?
Well, I think the answer to that is really broad, and I think people read for all sorts of different reasons. It might be escapism. Everyone has a busy life these days, and books provide an opportunity, I think, to escape that sometimes. It might help you relax. It might be that maybe you just want to learn something. And I think personally, I've probably learned more from fiction. Probably learned more about truth from fiction than I have from a lot of factual books. Go anywhere with a book without really leaving your living room.
Are you a book person or a sort of a book reader, sort of electronic device kind of? Do you use those? Or
I went backpacking a couple of years ago, and we bought an e-reader at the time, and it was brilliant because you can stick it in a backpack and not worry too much about the weight of your books. But since getting back, it's been sitting in a drawer. I prefer the real thing. I think it's a richer experience.
Brilliant.
However, we've just launched our e-library at Sheffield Libraries, and we've got hundreds of e-books there waiting for people. So if that's your thing,
just to finish, absolutely, just to finish off. So for someone like me that doesn't really engage with books that much, what event would you say to come along to?
Try Gavin Extence.
Okay.
Meet the author Gavin Extence event. Accessible, local author, really nice guy. Should be good fun.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for coming in and telling us all about it.
Thanks
we hope
for
lots of
having
people
me.
get involved. Thanks a lot. Brilliant. Once again, thank you very much to Dan for joining us today. It sounds like there is plenty to get involved with over the next few weeks. Okay, to round off the show today, we're going to take a quick look at what you've all been talking about on social media, and especially Twitter. Lots of people tweeting about the Bupa Yorkshire Half Marathon coming up at the weekend. Firstly, Sue Barnes, looking forward to Yorkshire Half Marathon on Sunday, running along very familiar roads from when I grew up. And those very familiar roads include a lot of very familiar hills, I can tell you. Paul Bentley has said, race number has arrived for the @Run Yorkshire Sheffield Half Marathon. It's going to be a good turnout, let's hope so. It's all starting off in the city centre, so get yourselves down, especially to that one. Rachel McMahon, this Sunday, I'm running the Yorkshire Half Marathon. I'm doing it for Downs Syndrome Association, just one of the many great causes that everyone is running for. Nikki Busby, have a great BH Monday, whatever you are doing. Long run for me today in prep for the Yorkshire Half Marathon, and that's probably what I should be doing when I get home, going for my last training run before Sunday. And finally, Adrian Lee Stokes, so very excited about next Sunday, performing at Brit Dodge Vintage Fair at Sheffield Cutlers Hall, which we mentioned a little earlier. Time to get vintage, he said. That's brilliant stuff. That's all we've got time for this week. Join me again, same place, same time tomorrow for more listings and to hear more about everything going on around Sheffield. What's on at sheffieldlive.org is the address you need. Write to us, let us know what's going on and what you're getting up to. You can visit us on Facebook and Twitter as well, of course. Thank you very much for joining us. And remember what Elbert Hubbard said, don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Take care, Sheffield, and I'll see you next time.